The first thing she said to me wasn't hello. It wasn't excuse me, it was, "You're in the wrong cabin." And the way she said it slow loud, like she was correcting a child who wandered somewhere they didn't belong, told me everything I needed to know about how the next hour of my life was about to go. Funny thing is, I was exactly where I was supposed to be, and she had no idea who she was talking to. That morning started like any other business travel day, which is to say it started with exhaustion. 3 cities in 2 days meetings that blurred together hotel rooms that all smelled the same. I wasn't dressed to impress. I never am when I travel. Stretch pants, sneakers, a hoodie, hair pulled back, face bare. When you spend your life being underestimated, you learn pretty quickly that comfort matters more than appearances. I boarded early, turned left into first class, scanned for my seat, and there it was. Row 1 window. The seat I'd booked weeks earlier because I knew I'd need the quiet. Except someone was already sitting in it. She was impossible to miss. Perfect blowout, bright lipstick, oversized sunglasses still on indoors, legs stretched out like she owned the row. Her purse was planted in the empty seat beside her as if to say this whole space was hers by default. I checked my boarding pass. Same seat, same row. I took a breath because I've learned to always start polite. "Hey, I think you're in my seat," I said, calm, friendly, almost apologetic. She didn't look up at first, just waved her hand vaguely and said, "Economy boards from the back." I smiled, thinking maybe she misunderstood me. "No, I mean this one, seat 1A. That's when she looked at me. Really looked. From my shoes to my hoodie to my face. Her mouth curled into something between a smirk and a sigh. "Sweetheart," she said, "this is first class." There it was. That moment. The one so many people know. The one where you realize you've already been judged, labeled, dismissed. I could have snapped back. I didn't. I showed her my boarding pass. She laughed. Not nervous laughter. Confident laughter. The kind that says she'd never once been wrong about this sort of thing in her life. She snapped her fingers for a flight attendant like she was calling a dog. "There's been a mistake," she said loudly. "This woman is confused." The attendant checked both passes. Her tone shifted immediately. "Ma'am, your seat is actually 3D. I expected resistance. What I didn't expect was outright refusal. She crossed her arms and said no. Just like that. No explanation, no apology, just no. The cabin went quiet. People stopped pretending to be busy. She leaned back, buckled herself in, and told the attendant she wasn't moving. Said she had a bad back. Said she needed the legroom. Said I looked young and healthy and could take her seat instead. Then she turned to me and said, "It's all the same cabin anyway. Don't make a big deal." That's when something shifted in me. Because it was a big deal. It wasn't about comfort. It was about being told again that I should shrink to make someone else comfortable. "I paid for this seat," I said, "and I'm not switching." Her face hardened. She picked up her champagne, slammed it down so hard the glass shattered, liquid splashing onto my shoes. Gasps rippled through the cabin. She stood up shaking, pointing at me. "Look what you made me do," she screamed. "You people always come in here acting entitled." There it was, loud now, ugly, no longer subtle. Someone across the aisle told her to calm down. She snapped at him to mind his business. The flight lead arrived, then the captain. She cried, claimed I attacked her, claimed she felt unsafe. I stood there quietly, heart-pounding, hands steady, watching the lie take shape. Because I've learned something over the years. When people like her feel cornered, they don't back down, they escalate. The captain asked her to move. She refused. Threatened lawsuits, dropped names, said she'd have people fired. Then she looked at me and said, "This is what happens when they let anyone sit up here." That was the line. The one you don't cross and pretend it was an accident. The captain grounded the flight. Police came on board. She immediately pointed at me. "She's the problem," she said. "She assaulted me." The officer looked at the broken glass, the spilled drink, the crew, the witnesses. He didn't even hesitate. He asked her to stand up. She refused. Started yelling louder. When they finally put cuffs on her, she screamed like the world was ending, swore she'd destroy everyone involved. As they led her past me, she leaned in and hissed, "You ruined my life." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. We took off shortly after. Applause broke out. Drinks were comped. I sat down, finally, heart still racing. I stared out the window as the city shrank beneath us, thinking about how quickly confidence turns into desperation when entitlement meets reality. What she didn't know was that I wasn't just another passenger. I run a logistics firm that handles contracts worth more than most people will see in a lifetime. And later that night I got a call from her husband. Apologetic. Panicked. He begged. Explained. Asked me not to let this affect business. It did. Within a week, the contract was gone. Within a month, so was his company. The video went viral. People recognized her. Invitations dried up. Accounts were frozen. Friends vanished. By the time she stood in a courtroom facing charges for interfering with a flight crew, the world had already decided how it felt about her. Months later, she asked to meet me. She looked nothing like the woman in first class. No designer clothes, no confidence. Just a tired person sitting across from me, hands folded, voice shaking, asking for mercy. She said she'd lost everything, that she was sorry, that she'd learned her lesson. I believed she was sorry. I also believed lessons mean nothing without consequences. I dropped the lawsuit on one condition. She would spend 2 years working for a nonprofit I support, doing administrative work, supporting people she once looked down on. No spotlight, no praise, just service. She agreed. Some people say that was too kind. Others say it was cruel. I think it was necessary. So, here's my question to you. Was that justice or revenge dressed up as mercy? Should people be allowed to rebuild after moments like that, or are some lines unforgivable? Drop your thoughts below. I've seen both sides of power, and trust me, the conversation matters.